Considering that most of the animes and mangas that I've reviewed are shonen, it's time to take a break from that genre and move into something different. Shoujo. And what kind of shoujo anime that I'm going to review? I'm going to review the first episode of Sailor Moon Crystal. That's right, the 2014 Sailor Moon anime has finally come out with its first episode. There has been a lot of hype towards this, especially with fans who have read the manga or have watched the anime. So after watching episode 1, I gotta say, I really liked it. Toei Animation put a lot of effort into this first episode. The animation was really good. But when it got to the transformation sequence, there was a lot of CGI and 3D animation style. It wasn't bad or anything, it was just kinda odd to me. But what I do like about the transformation sequence is that it focuses on the transformation and not on the fan service. The voice acting was really good, and it's great to hear Kotono Mitsuishi return to reprise her role as Usagi Tsukino, aka Sailor Moon. The music in this anime was composed by Yasuharu Takanashi, composer of other anime series such as Naruto Shippuden, Fairy Tail, Gantz, Hell Girl, Shiki, and many more. If you've seen these series that I mentioned previously, then it is easy to depict Takanashi's music style. The opening used in the anime, Moon Pride by Momoiro's Clover Z. It may not be Moonlight Densetsu, but it is a really good opening in terms of the song and the animation. Now, the anime series is going to adapt to the manga, and I know there's going to be some new anime fans who are going to be watching this, so I'm going to try to keep the spoilers to a minimum. So the episode begins in outer space as we see multiple planets in the solar system until we cut to planet Earth, where we see the meeting between a prince and a princess. But it was all just a dream by our main character Usagi Tsukino, our soon-to-be Sailor Moon. We get to see her regular daily life, her being late to school, her failing an exam, and of course her being clumsy and a crybaby. Now, on her way to school, she trips over something which turns out to be a black cat. She removes the bandages on the black cat's forehead to reveal a moon crescent mark. Later on in the episode, the black cat reveals herself to Usagi as Luna. Luna was searching for Usagi because she was a chosen guardian to find her allies, defeat the enemies, and of course to save the princess. She was also the one that gave Usagi the brooch so that she can transform into Sailor Moon. That's basically it in a nutshell on what Sailor Moon has to do, but Luna doesn't go into full details, but I'm pretty sure she will in the later episodes. Now, throughout this episode, another Sailor Senshi or Sailor Scout, if you've seen the dub, was mentioned, and her name is Sailor V. Now, I can't reveal too much about this character for the sake of the new fans, but keep in mind that this character is important, and she does appear later on. Also, if you have paid attention to the characters that were shown in the opening, seeing other characters in the later episodes and in this episode might help you recognize who they are. Speaking of characters, I never actually talked a lot about Usagi's character. Well, when I first got into Sailor Moon, at the beginning, she wasn't my favorite character. I mean, she does cry a lot, she does yell a lot, but it is understandable because it's her first time as Sailor Moon. She has to take on these enemies. She's given this responsibility. But ironically, she dreamed that she became someone like Sailor V, being a hero. And yet, when it actually happens, she's like, screw this, I want to go home. As for the rest of the characters, there are some minor characters that do seem pretty likable. In this episode, we're introduced to Usagi's mother, her younger brother Shingo, her best friend Naru, Umino the class nerd, and Motoki Furuhata, who works at the game arcade where Usagi goes to play the Sailor V video game. However, there were two characters that do come off as a mystery but do seem important to the story. We don't know their names, but we do know their motive, and it is to find the silver crystal. It hasn't been revealed what they want to do with the crystal, what it is, or what it can do, but it will probably be revealed later on. The first character is the antagonist of the series, but he is actually a subordinate to the actual true main villain, Queen Beryl. Now, technically this isn't a spoiler since her name was mentioned in the synopsis, but what is her purpose and what is her goal? That won't be revealed till later on, but she is after the silver crystal, so I'm going to assume she's going to use it to take over the world or something. Also, there are 3 more characters on the antagonist side, but they haven't made an appearance in the first episode, so they're going to appear in the later episodes. The second character is a man in a tuxedo who Usagi actually meets by accidentally throwing her exam sandpaper at him. Their first encounter doesn't really go very well, considering that he calls her bunhead, and after seeing her test score just tells her to study harder. However, they did have a moment when they were looking at each other face to face. Now, it was revealed later on that this man happens to be none other than Tuxedo Mask. This technically isn't really a spoiler because in both of those scenes, in both of those encounters, he's wearing the same goddamn tuxedo. It's not a coincidence. So it's pretty obvious that guy was Tuxedo Mask. In the original anime, Tuxedo Mask, he doesn't really do a lot at the beginning. Later on, he does actually do more on several occasions, but most of the time, he would just throw a rose at his enemy, say some words of encouragement to Sailor Moon so that she can gain the courage to defeat the enemy, and then he would just leave. There were some occasions every now and then that he would fight an enemy with his cane. Also, there was this one time in the later seasons where he would create a magic barrier with his roses, which apparently was a one-time thing because I do not recall him doing that ever again. In the manga, however, he actually gains his own powers and his own abilities, which sadly was never shown in the original anime. But in this episode, however, he still comes off as a mystery. Now, Sailor Moon's first mission was to stop this monster named Morga. She was created by the mysterious blonde man who orders her to find the silver crystal, but she was also stealing other people's energy. She disguised herself as Naru's mother, who happens to own this jewelry store. She was selling these pieces of jewelry, which happens to steal energy from those who wear them. It seems that she was able to gather every single person's energy with the jewelry, but it hasn't been revealed why she needs this energy or what she's going to do with it, but I'm assuming it will be revealed later on. As for Naru, she does get attacked by Morga, who reveals to her that she wasn't her mother. Naru's real mother was tied and locked up in the basement. Even though Usagi was not willing to fight at first, she was willing to at least help and save her friend Naru. But when she did get there, Morga summons the energy-drained customers, turning them into mindless zombies to attack Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon then does get scared and starts to cry. And, well, the next scene made me laugh because activating her hair pieces, which send out these supersonic vibrations that broke the windows in the jewelry store and knocked out the energy-drained people, even momentarily stunning Morga. The only time we're crying is actually helpful. Anyway, Sailor Moon did stop crying the moment when she heard Tuxedo Mask yelling at her to stop, and then Luna tells her to use her tiara, using this technique which is a classic in the original anime, Moon Tiara Boomerang, as she throws it at Morga, destroying her, turning it into sand. Now, in the manga, it was actually more gory. Not only does Morga dissolve into sand, she also gets decapitated. And honestly, I was really hoping they would add that into the anime because that would have been really awesome to see, but I guess considering that it is pretty violent, then I understand. Still, it would have been awesome to see, by the way. So once the battle was over, Tuxedo Mask starts to leave, but before he does leave, he introduces himself to Sailor Moon and also says that he hasn't found the silver crystal, but has found something interesting. As for the mysterious blonde antagonist, well, he was watching everything that has happened through a crystal ball and says that he must get his hands on the silver crystal. In the next day, everything goes back to normal, but Usagi is still a bit grumpy over the whole situation, and the episode ends where we see a blue-haired girl outside Usagi's school. This episode went off to a really good start for the new 2014 anime. It was basically the introduction to the main character Usagi, and of course the first time when she becomes Sailor Moon. Fans who have read the manga or have seen the original anime will definitely get a kick out of this. However, this episode does have some flaws. New fans of the anime so far will not know a lot about the enemy or about the silver crystal or about the princess that Luna mentioned that Sailor Moon has to protect. Some questions were left unanswered for the new fans in this episode, but I can assure you guys that everything will be revealed later on. There were some scenes in this anime that some people might find a bit eye-rolling or cheesy. For example, Usagi, Umino, Naru, and two female students, when they were outside talking about Sailor V, the girls were talking about how pretty jewels were. Yeah, I get it, girls love jewelry and all that, but I don't know, it just came off as kinda Also, there were some scenes where in the background there are all these sparkling lights and colors. It's not bad or anything. It's just, I mean, they are used to give an effect to certain scenes, but it made me laugh for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it was how it looked. But aside from that, it was a pretty good episode overall and a pretty good start to the new anime. Now, next week's episode is going to be called Act 2, Ami, Sailor Mercury. I'm looking forward to it the most because Sailor Mercury is my favorite Sailor Senshi. My second favorite is Sailor Jupiter. So I am looking forward to seeing Ami, or Amy if you've seen the English dub. The episode is going to come out on July 19th, by the way. And the anime is going to be coming out twice a month. So old fans and new fans have to be really patient for this. So yeah, overall, pretty good episode. So tell me guys, what do you think of the first episode of Sailor Moon Crystal? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What are your thoughts on Usagi, aka Sailor Moon, and the adaptation so far? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like the video if you like it and subscribe to more videos, and be sure to check out my Facebook fan page and Google+. So yeah, that is Sailor Moon Crystal first impression / episode 1 review. I'm Respawn27 and I will see you guys later. Bye.